Yeah. Yeah. So what we'll talk about is micronutrients, macronutrients. So one is macronutrients and other is micronutrients. जो बड़े-बड़े food groups हैं, we call them macronutrients. And smaller vitamins, minerals, whatever we need on a daily basis, those are called micronutrients. So today we'll be covering macros, and we'll keep it very generic. And if you have any specific questions, we can take them one-on-one. And this session we will purposely keep it very generic. So if you have to answer, what would be the major protein sources? So what do you think? You can either write in the chat or even unmute and speak. What would be the major sources of protein? Pulses, yes. Milk, yes. Eggs, chicken, yes. Paneer, yes. Certain dry food. Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So these are all paneer, soy, tofu, and dairy products, yes. Yes, and there are different types of proteins also. There are high quality protein and then there is the low quality protein. Difference क्या है दोनों में? What we need to really understand about protein is there are 21 amino acids. So 9 are essential amino acids. Essential amino acids क्यों? क्योंकि हमारी body वो amino acids बनाती नहीं है. And rest of them are non-essential amino acids क्योंकि body बना लेती है, हमें जरूरत नहीं पड़ता. और 9 essential amino acids में a perfect protein source is a source which has got all the 9 amino acids. जब तक वो 9 amino acids इकट्ठे नहीं होंगे, हमारी body उसको absorb नहीं कर पाएगा. So don't shoot the messenger, but the best sources of protein, complete source of protein is egg, जो जिसमें सारे amino acids हैं और सब कुछ है उसमें. Paneer is very high in casein. So if you're building muscle, paneer is a good idea along with whey protein. So casein है तो अलग-अलग profiling है protein की. Very important to understand what is your goal. So very briefly, that is what is protein. Fat, then again there are different kinds of fats. Fat किस चीज में है? Dietary fat. What do you think? You can type here. Dietary fat किस चीज में है? Dietary fat is जो हम fat we can eat. So dietary fat के sources क्या होंगे? Anyone? You can just type so that it is more engaging. Ghee, yes. Potatoes would be more carbs. और कौन से sources हैं fat के? और fat के अंदर भी there are different types of fats. There are saturated fats, unsaturated fats. Meat में yes there is fat. There are polysaturated fats. और edible oil, yeah. And then most important in fat, what we need to understand is where we go wrong a lot of times is omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. ये दो को हमें समझना चाहिए. Egg yolk, yeah, or very, very important to understand. And fat is one subject जिसपे we can speak for 1 hour. It's such an important food source, and I credit a lot of my good health जो भी है on this one group of food. Then there are carbohydrates. We'll be covering them and what they do. So third factor क्या है? What we are saying is you are what you eat. What we have to do is we have to अपनी body की जो ability to metabolize what we eat is very, very important. 2 factor पे सारे health programs चलते हैं. Those 2 factors are exercise and diet. Very important, yes, exercise and diet. And the third factor, which we always talk about, is the repair element. जब तक कोई भी प्रोग्राम में एलिमेंट ऑफ रिपेयर नहीं है, no use. I mean, we generally, the way we look at fat is this is something we need to get rid of, and by doing anything it takes, which is a very, very wrong approach. What we have to do is we have to repair our cells in such a way, take our cellular health to the next level, so that our body does not store fat, but our body uses fat as the primary source of fuel. एक गाड़ी में बहुत सारा डीजल पड़ा हुआ है और वो डीजल और पेट्रोल दोनों पे चल सकती है, लेकिन हम रुक रुक के उसमें पेट्रोल डाल रहे हैं, डीजल वैसे ही पड़ा हुआ है हमारा, एंड वी डोंट इवन वांट इट. दैट इज हाउ इट इज विद फैट. वी आर रनिंग आवर बॉडीज ऑन sugar, on glucose, we are eating so much and we need to keep eating. So this is something which we've seen. जैसे ही हमारी bodies repair हो जाती हैं, the fat starts to burn and your entire journey becomes very interesting. You are always fired up and your energy will never come down if it is fat based. So this is it. Function क्या है? Now I'll hand over to Navneet. She will talk about specifics. What are the functions of each food group, and then she'll talk about food plates also.
Yeah, so good evening. Like Shivra just mentioned, the different macronutrients. So basically, what is macronutrients and micronutrients? Macronutrients is what we need in large quantities, and micronutrients are equally important, but we don't need them in large quantities. Basically, vitamins and minerals, जो हमें ज़्यादातर मिलेंगे from vegetables. So we should have a good amount. That's why when we are talking about food plates, you should have a good amount of vegetables because they are a source of micronutrients. And macronutrients is what we need in large quantities. Most importantly, protein, fat, and carbs we'll see. So fat, like Shivrat mentioned, what are the functions, and there are different kinds of fats. And good fats hai. Good fats may you have omega-3 also, omega-6 also. Aajkal there are studies about omega-9. We'll stick to omega-3, omega-6 ताकि ज़्यादा confuse ना करें. And then usually आजकल everybody is scared of fat, and because we heard so much negative about fat, and जो भी harmful effects है fats के, that is mostly from the trans fats, which you get from all the packaged foods, your fried foods, and all that. So what we need to avoid is trans fats, but not the dietary or the good fat. Why do we need fat? For energy, lubrication of joints, brain health, cellular health, managing cholesterol. Today we were just having this discussion on eggs on the health factor group, and about egg yolks, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, I'd just like to explain that. Now, when we talk about egg as a good source of protein, one egg gives us 6 grams of protein. Shivrat mentioned if you have to put the quality of protein in rank the quality of protein, the highest is egg, casein, that's milk protein, and soy. And why they are the highest? Because they have a Pitta score of 1, which means it gets absorbed completely and there is no waste or raw material where the kidney has to work very hard. Now, an egg, one complete egg will give us 6 grams of protein, but if we have only the yolk, it is 4 grams of protein. We need to have the complete egg so that you get the fats, help you absorb the protein. Plus, the yolk has a lot of B vitamins. Yes, it has cholesterol, but again, that's the good cholesterol. And more than cholesterol, what we should really worry about in our health is inflammation, which you heard from Stefan's talk yesterday in yesterday's session, because most of our lifestyle diseases are the major risk factor cause is inflammation. So, and there are ways of blood test to measure it. You can talk to us separately. We can, so inflammation is what we need to worry about. And omega-3 fatty acids are something which help us control our inflammation levels. So that's about fat. Next, when we come to protein, we all know protein chahiye, growth ke liye chahiye, muscle building ke liye chahiye, but more importantly than that, we need protein for each and every hormone in our body. Uski production ke liye hame synthesis ke liye protein chahiye, muscle building chahiye, growth, bone health ke liye chahiye. When we are growing up, we need a good amount of protein. And when we are aging, that's also when we need a good amount of protein. When a child is growing up, the requirement of protein is very high. It's almost 1.5 grams per kg of body weight, which means a growing child whose weight is, say, for example, 20 kgs, he needs 30 grams of protein a day. A healthy adult would need 1 gram per kg of body weight. And as we age, and usually we have this notion कि you need protein if you're working out. अगर आप workout नहीं कर रहे हैं, ज़्यादा protein नहीं खाना चाहिए. Just to maintain our health, we need 1 gram per kg of body weight, because जैसे जैसे हम age करते हैं, muscle loss होता है if you're not having enough protein. So protein is very very important, and immunity के लिए बहुत important है, and आगे जाके अपना bone health maintain करने के लिए आगे जाके, I mean once you start aging, cognitive health, हम उस सब के लिए, brain health, उस सब के लिए protein की जरूरत है. Then we come to carbs. Now when we talk about carbs, again there are simple carbs and then there are complex carbs. Now what is the difference? Simple carbs are which get converted to sugar very easily, because they are low in fiber, so they can spike your blood sugar levels. Complex carbs is where they have more fiber, and that's, again, we need carbohydrates for energy, but we need more of the complex carb. And all our vegetables and everything give us complex carbs, and they give us the micronutrients. So when we are having carbohydrates, we should have more of vegetables, pulses, dals. We assume dals is a good source of protein, but it's a good source of complex carbohydrates. Simple carbs, which is your breads and pastas and rice and all the processed foods we are having, that is where we should be avoiding or keeping it in a very minimal quantity. So this is about the macros. Now what we'll do next is, we'll just have a look at some meal plates, and these are from some books we have taken. Some of them are ideal meal plates, and then we will just analyze how. So this first set of plates you see here is how it's a balanced meal plate. I wouldn't say ideal or optimum, but a balanced meal plate. This can help you get an idea how we should have our meals. In fact, we encourage you that on the group, you can share your meal plate so we can help you analyze them, and जहाँ भी आपको changes की ज़रूरत है, you can do that. You can share it with your accountability partners, or you can share it on the groups also, and we'll be more than happy to help you analyze them. So here, let's make it a little interactive. Let's start with the one on the left-hand side. If you see this plate, it has a lot of chicken, it has a lot of vegetables, and it has some avocado. So, so it has a good amount of protein, it has a good amount of complex carbs, and it has a good amount of fat. So a good meal, this kind of a meal can keep you going for a long time. So if you can have, so this can be a way, I mean, you can have your meal. Now, if you see the plate in the middle, again, there's a lot of vegetables in salad. There's only a small amount of chapati, there's sabzi, there is paneer with capsicum, and there's also a glass of chas. It's a good idea to include some curd or chas in our meals, because probiotics होते हैं. आजकल हम देखते हैं कि because हमारा intake of processed food is so high, we are not getting enough fiber also, and our gut health खराब हो रहा है. We're not getting enough good bacteria also. Probiotic is prebiotics and probiotic. Probiotic is basically the good bacteria which our body needs. The gut needs good bacteria to digest the food, and lot of other benefits, not just for digestion. Our mental health depends on that. Lot of lifestyle diseases or autoimmune diseases are related to gut health. So including probiotics or prebiotics is a good idea. So that's that. The third plate, if you see, is again a lot of veggies, and chicken and some chas. Now this is someone who's eating at their workplace. So it's very much possible. You just need to do a little bit of planning, and even if you're working, you're traveling, you can eat healthy once you're aware about what you need to include in your meals. So this is giving you an idea about how you can plan your meals. Now we look at some plates and see whether they are good, bad, where they need any changes, and let's make it interactive. Okay, now this is some plates which we know are not ideal, and let's see if anybody wants to. We'll start from the one on the extreme left of the screen. And if anybody wants to comment on it, what's wrong with that plate, what's missing, what we should add up.
The left-hand side plate, there is no vegetable, so no complex carbohydrates.
Yeah. So yes, vegetables are missing. Yeah, we can add curd there. Yes, absolutely. Anything else which is sorely missing?
Salads.
Sorry?
Salads.
Salads, yes. Vegetables.
It is normally said that the plate has to be very colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, Irene, absolutely right. There's no protein also. There's actually no protein. I mean, if you see, this would have hardly 1 to 2 grams of protein, max. Maybe I don't think so, 5 also. So we need to add a good amount of protein there, and also good fats. You can add some ghee, white butter you can add, or anything. You can add cheese or paneer. So उसमें से good fats भी मिल जाएगा and protein भी मिल जाएगा. Let's see the one in the middle, center wala plate. Anyone wants to analyze that? Yeah, women, absolutely. Fruit at a wrong time. Yes, fruit is good for us. It's healthy, but having a fruit along with a meal is not a good idea. And usually a good time to have fruit is either at your breakfast or as a early morning snack. I mean, I would say not even breakfast, but as an early morning snack, or if you're working out, as a post-workout snack. But having it with a meal or for dinner, sometimes we think, we can just have dinner with fruit kha le, light ho jayega. No, because it's again very high fructose levels, which we shouldn't have. Another tip I would like to give you, you're right, it hinders digestion. And another tip about fruits is don't have fruit juices. Even if it is a fresh fruit juice, not a good idea, because when we juice up fruits, the micronutrients, the reason why we are having the fruits is for the nutrients get destroyed, the fiber is gone. So it's as good as having any other sugary drink. So avoid having juices for sure. Yeah. So one thing that is wrong here is fruit. Fruit should be had on an empty stomach, and don't have it with a meal, especially your lunch or dinner, or even as an evening snack. Avoid having fruit.
And especially the program we follow, this can be discussed. People will argue over it, but it's a very, very bad idea to have fruit as a snack, because it spikes your blood sugar, and even fructose directly goes to the liver. We see so many issues with the liver in India. And even one thing we are seeing is almost 95% of the people we meet who have uric acid are vegetarians. You always say it is connected to, no, I think you by mistake you've written DR at the end. I think the number which health experts talk about is 35 grams of fructose every day. Beyond that, there are some studies which have been funded by, so they go up to 70 to 80 grams of fructose per day, but we would not suggest that. We would suggest only 35 to 40 grams of fructose every day, because beyond that, the liver has to work extra, and not a good idea. So, and even if you can have less fruits which have got less fructose in them, that will be a good idea. Yeah. Both of us are talk from our experiences. We are not doctors, and the whatever we've read, whatever we've experienced, we talk about that. Thank you. Thanks, Irene.
Yeah, Irene, you're right. No fruits should be taken after sundown, or afternoon meals. So, yeah, so one thing wrong here is fruit. Anything else that's missing in this plate in the center?
Fruits, I think our question is how many types of fruits. I think if you can limit your fructose to 35 grams, you can have whatever you want. because the citrus fruits will be able to take more, and the other fruits, like apple, has got very high fructose level. And if you have an issue with your liver, I had fatty liver and I could reverse it by. And my cause for weight gain also was majorly food. So that was one thing it was difficult for me to accept first. So yeah, about half an apple would be good. I would have half an apple. Yeah,
Yeah.
Janam.
Yeah,
you're right.
there is no fat and
Very good.
very little protein. That's absolutely right. So we can increase protein here. We can increase the good fats here, and
Ghanshyam, what I would, if you can, I generally go in for eggs. If you're a vegetarian, then maybe cheese, if you can carry some cheese with you, that will be better.
yeah, or nuts is any day
Nuts
better.
is good.
So even if you're traveling, sometimes you're not carrying anything from home. So ajkal you get a packet of peanuts le lo, or you get those trail mixes, which is nuts. So nuts can be very filling, and good amount of protein also there. Especially if you have almonds or a mix of walnuts, etc., you can have. And if you're a non-vegetarian, egg burji kahin bhi mil jayega, that is the best thing you can eat if you're out.
But don't have the pav along with
Yeah,
it.
just limit the quantity of that. Yeah. Now let's have a look at the right-hand side plate. Anyone wants to comment? What is what needs to change in the plate, or what we can add?
Is fat missing in the third plate?
Yeah, it's basically very simple carbs. It's only rice, maybe some vegetables in it, but no fat and no proteins. So now we'll look at something more interesting in the next slide. Yeah. Now here it's a little tricky, because if you look at these plates, they all look very balanced, but there's still something missing or something we need to change here. So let's start again with the one on the left-hand side of the screen. Yeah, it looks like a very well-balanced plate, but what can we add here, or what can we change here? Anyone? Yes, veggies quantities is less, right? Yeah, salad is missing. Yeah, it's basically, one chapati, some rice, a little serving of paneer. For those who can't see the plate, yeah, raw salad is missing, and sprouts and some vegetable.
This is chance.
That is chas. Yeah, so salad is missing. Another thing is the amount of simple carbs is high. Yeah, Veena. It's chapati and rice. You can have only one. Nothing wrong with having rice and chapati together. Only thing is then the quantity of simple carbs increase. So even if you want to have both, you can have half a chapati and reduce the quantity of rice to half. Or you can eliminate one. You can just have the rice, or you can just have the chapati. Yes, there is paneer in it and there is sprout in it, but still a little lesser quantity of protein. And good fats is missing. So we can add 1 or 2 teaspoons of ghee to increase the good fats. And so that would be helpful. Another tip I would give is every meal, if you can look at having 20 grams of protein in your meal, because assumption is all of us would be at least 60 kilos. So 20 would give you 60 grams of protein a day. And if you try to just focus on in doing that, the rest of the food gets balanced. So 20 grams of protein, aim at having it, even if you have 15, 10. If you start measuring, you'll realize how little you're having. A normal vegetarian typical meal will not have more than 5 grams of protein. So that's how low we are on protein. Now let's look at the one in the center. So there's a katori of rice, there are 2 chapatis, some cucumber, and yeah, some vegetables, and I think a small katori of dal. So what can we change here? What's missing in the middle plate? Yeah, protein is missing in the middle plate. Chas, sprouts can be added. Yes,
Some buttermilk,
absolutely. Yeah, so protein is missing here, and yeah, no fat also. Yeah,
No
right.
buttermilk.
Yeah, no buttermilk placed in them. Dal quantity should be more. Absolutely, either rice or chapati. True. Yeah.
I would
Yes.
need 3 of these plates to feel
Yes, absolutely. So now you're getting the hang of it. So that's how we just need to, yeah. So chapati rice is more, okay, vegetable amount is good, but yeah, protein is missing. So once we add enough protein, automatically you'll end up eating rest of the chapati or rice.
Pickle is not there.
And
We can
small,
make one good plate out of these 3.
yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, we combine that, that would be a good thing.
थोड़ा प्रोटीन फिर भी
Yes.
लगेगा.
Yeah, protein फिर भी लगेगा तीनों combine करने के, but it would still be. Yeah, you can have salads for dinner, Irene. I mean, you can have a salad, add a good amount of protein. I mean, if you want to have a salad, it should be vegetables. You can add a protein source like paneer, or you can add grilled
Feta.
chicken. You can add feta or any kind of cheese. You can also roast some nuts like walnuts or almonds in a little bit of ghee and add it.
I mean with the full plate.
With a full plate, have more of the salad. You can cut out the quantity of rice or chapati there, and you know that's how you can do it. Or you can make more protein and everything and make that salad as a complete meal for yourself. That would be good. Yeah, you can, but then that's up to, I mean, some people have issues like cold, congestion, etc. So that's a personal thing. Ultimately, you have to listen to your body. If you can have, like we might not have buttermilk, but we have curd in all the seasons because we're okay with it. So, ultimately it's, you have to listen to your body. If you have issues with that, then yeah, afternoon time, it's good to have, yeah, absolutely right, Minjan. Afternoon time, you can easily have curds.
And I think the most important is to listen to your body. I have seen so many things which are generalized, but to individuals, it doesn't suit. So like you absolutely said, buttermilk in the evening, it doesn't suit me. And generally we've seen it doesn't suit. So once you do, a lot of times we experiment with ourselves to see what suits us. Important to know your curd for dinner is good. Yeah.
And then if you see the last plate, the one on the left hand side, now it should be easy to guess what's missing there. Yes, walnuts in the evening snack is a good idea. Walnuts, almonds, and cashews, 4, 5 as an evening snack is good. No, there's no.
No, not a piece of cake.
There's no. It's a chapati which is folded and some vegetables, and there's cucumber.
Yeah, Kamalji, you can have the normal rice. Brown rice is if you have the rice with fiber, the Kerala rice, that's good. But other brown rice, because the glycemic index is less, but glycemic load is the same. So it doesn't matter. I mean, white rice, if you enjoy, have it. If you like, whatever you like.
It's actually the quantity that matters.
Yeah.
So little quantity of white rice is perfectly okay. कई बार क्या होता है ना कि when we see brown rice and all, we end up eating more. So we just have to focus on the quantity. That's all. So yeah, Irene, in the last plate, there is no protein at all. If you see, there's a good amount of vegetables. There's green vegetables also. Chapati quantity is also right. But protein is what is missing. So we can add the protein powder, protein in source there. So yeah, that's about it about sharing the plates. You can start sharing. your meal plates on the groups also, and I'm sure you're already doing that with your accountability partners or buddies. And any more questions or anything, feel free to ask.
My observation with myself is I have seen when I have wholesome food, I feel better and I eat less. But if I try to eat less, I end up eating more by the evening, because they say willpower is a muscle, and the more you use it, the more it gets strained. So generally, when I start the day with very less food, and by evening I am gone. So I have a very big meal in the evening, and then it is counterproductive. So what I personally do is, at one meal I'll have a hearty meal. I want to satisfy myself, and then I can go for a longer time. That way, your insulin spike is not there, and I've seen huge results with that. Very good results.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay to have meals, eggs regularly in your meals.
Yeah.
So perfectly okay.
And I think I am a big fan of intermittent fasting. I do about 19-20 hours of fasting, and then I work out. So because then your there is an increase in your sirtuins also, your AMPK pathways open up, your autophagy is there. So I can't talk enough about intermittent fasting. I'm such a big fan of intermittent fasting, but it has to be done properly. If done, if you don't open the fast properly or start the fast properly, it can result in weight gain. So that is something we need to really take care of.
Yeah, and my advice, this on observation about intermittent fasting is, yeah, that's perfect. That's a very good thing you do, 7 p.m. and then 9 a.m. So that's great. 14 hours of fast is good. So what you need to have optimum amounts of protein when you're doing intermittent fasting. If you do have carbs, it's not a good idea to, and again, there are different ways of doing intermittent fasting. You can do a 24-hour fast once a week, whatever, what suits your body, what suits your routine. And again, you have to listen to your body there, how to do it.
Just one quick question. We are talking of protein, which is 1 gram per kg or 1 milligram per kg?
1 gram.
1 gram. Okay. Thanks.